Are you struggling to create good quality content all the time? Well, in this masterclass, we are talking about how you can start repurposing your content and become a content repurposing ninja. So let's get into it.
So before I get into the steps, let's talk about what content repurposing is and why do you really need to repurpose content. Now, I know if you're watching this training, it means you kind of know that you need to repurpose your content, but you're just like confused about how part, right? But let's just talk about the why. So again, I feel like after being in the online space for 2 years, I really believe that content is really important when you are trying to build an audience and when you're trying to build a long-term sustainable business. If you start off as a service provider like I did, it's great. You get one client, you get two clients, you kind of make your money for the month, and then maybe you get referrals, you reach out personally to people. So that kind of works with a service-based business. But when you're looking at a product-based business or when you're looking at affiliate marketing, it becomes really important to create content on a regular basis because your content is something that's going to help you grow your audience. Your content is something that's going to help you, gain that trust in your audience. So your emails are content, your social media posts are content, your blog posts, YouTube, everything is content. All of it is content, and there's a need to create new content on a regular basis. And I know a lot of people struggle with that. But the thing is, if you are working in a strategic way, it's very easy to create less high quality content and use it over and over again. So, if you're using Facebook for your business, you know that the reach with Facebook is really low, right? It depends on how much engagement you're getting and how many times you're posting. So even if you were to repeat the same content on Facebook, at least 50 to 60% people who see that content are going to be seeing it for the first time. So you might feel that you're repeating yourself, but you're not really repeating yourself because of all the, social media platform algorithms. The amount of people that see your content is actually really small. So even if you have an overall topic, let's say you're talking about Facebook ads. So today you posted about like the 5-step process to build your first Facebook ad, and tomorrow you posted almost similar content with a different headline. It's still going to work because again, the number of people that see these two different posts, there's going to be hardly, a few people who are same in that audience, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing is with so many people, building their online businesses and with so much of competition everywhere, it becomes kind of necessary for you to be visible in front of your audience to, for them to continuously have you on top of their mind because people buy from people that they remember, right? People buy from people who are on top of their mind. So for people to buy from you or to build that trust, it becomes important to be visible all the time. And of course, if you were to create new content every day, that would kind of become a struggle and you would eventually burn out, right? So it's best to create high quality content and that then use it in different forms. So if you're creating a blog post, you convert it into a podcast and then share small snippets on Instagram and share small snippets on Facebook and then do a Facebook live around it. So just like having one topic and just making the maximum of it before you go on to the next topic. So that's kind of the basic, the basis of content repurposing. And again, let's now talk about how you can start doing that. Okay, this is just a quote I really like by Amy Porterfield. If you guys don't know who Amy Porterfield is, she is a course creator, but she is amazing. I listen to her podcast. If you haven't heard it, you should definitely go and check out. It's called Online Marketing Made Easy, and I listen to it on iTunes. So what she says is think of it this way. If you bought an expensive pair of shoes, would you show them off once and then hide them away in your closet, never to be seen again? No way, right? Same goes for your best content. Show it off multiple times in multiple places in multiple ways. It's just too good to take it for a spin once. So what she says is if you're creating high quality content, you want to show it off on different platforms, different channels, and in different ways, whether that's images, videos, audio, written text, whatever it is. You want to make sure that you're using it, to your maximum advantage. So now how do you do that? So step one in the process is to choose your MVP. So what is an MVP? It's not like the minimum viable product thing. Here, what I mean by MVP is your most valuable platform. So when you're creating good quality content, it also means, to some extent, it means detailed content, right? In most cases, the more detailed your content is, the better it's going to be in quality. So you have to choose your most valuable platform and create really high quality content on that platform. Now, I'll give you some examples. That platform could be your blog, where you're posting every week or every once in 15 days, and you're writing really long form detailed content that's like 1,000 words plus, right? That could be one thing. The second could be your YouTube channel, where you're sharing a video a week or 2 videos a week, where you're doing like tutorials, walkthroughs, depending on your niche and your audience. But it's really good content. You're really sharing things in detail. That could be a second thing. The third thing could be your podcast. Similarly, as video, you could do detailed reviews or whatever, talk about your niche to your audience in a very detailed way, creating high quality content on audio. Or even if you're using a Facebook group as a place to build your audience, you could create really high quality content in your Facebook group, right? By doing lives, videos, interviews, all of those things. So that one platform where you are really focused is your content headquarters. You are going to create content for this platform, and then you're going to repurpose that content on other secondary platforms. So your MVP is your primary platform. Now, your MVP could change over time, right? Maybe you started a blog, but now you want to switch to video. That's completely okay. But at one time, you should focus on one MVP, on one platform where you will make sure that you're consistent, whether it's every week or twice a week, whatever it is, whatever suits you and your lifestyle. You will create that high quality long form content that you can then use on other platforms. This is the basis of content repurposing, because once you start creating high quality content on one platform, it becomes really easy to cut that content into multiple pieces and share it all over the internet. So when you choose your MVP, there are some other things that you want to decide on. The first is, how often are you going to post content here? So you should post good quality long form content on your main platform at least once a week. It's the basis of content marketing and of growing an audience. You kind of need to post at least one good blog post, video, do a group like once a week. Once you decide on that, you then kind of want to think about how are people finding this content, right? Because then your traffic strategies kind of depend on this. If you're using your Facebook group, you have to aggressively share your Facebook group all over the place, whether it's other groups, whether it's social media, reaching out to people to get them to join your group, whatever it is. If it's blog posts or YouTube, it's like through Google search or YouTube search, and you want to base your strategies based on all of that. And once you decide on that, the last piece, which is not that important when it comes to content repurposing, but it's really important when you're kind of thinking about like what in the long term, right? Like if you have a Facebook group, like tomorrow Facebook could shut down. What are you going to do, right? So how are you converting that audience into an owned audience? And by owned audience, I basically mean into an email list, right? Because again, like social media could die anytime. You never know what comes up on Facebook. They could just do away with groups or whatever it is, right? And if you're doing blog posts, Google could shut off your blog. If you're doing YouTube, could shut off your channel. It could be anything, right? So you can't really rely on these things in the long term. Although you are building a platform, but you also want to make sure that you're turning the content that you're creating and the audience you're getting into an owned audience that you can again provide value to, and of course sell to also in the long term, right? So definitely think about how you're converting these people into your email list. On a blog and with YouTube, it's easy. Get them to a landing page, take them through a funnel and all those things. With Facebook group, again, you can get people onto your email list by giving them an option to put in their email address when they join your group, or sharing an additional resource through email. So there are multiple ways you can do that, and we can talk about that maybe in a later training. Today we are focusing on repurposing content. So that's step one, choosing your MVP. The next step is choosing your visibility platforms, right? So now you have your MVP. Let's say you've decided that you're going to blog every week. And the way you're getting people onto your email list is by having a content upgrade for every blog post. So that's step one done. Now, the second step would be to choose your other visibility platforms. Now, if you're just starting out with content repurposing, you don't want to, just be all over the place. Like with a blog post, you could kind of repurpose your content on several different places. There's Medium, there's Quora, there's Reddit, there's Skillshare, all of these places, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, and then with Instagram, you have Instagram stories, IGTV. There's so many things that you could do. But if you're just starting out, I would suggest that you choose two platforms so that in your head, you're not all over the place. You know that your main platform is the blog, and then the two other platforms could be your Facebook group and Instagram or something else, or YouTube or Instagram, whatever it is for you, right? Based on where your audience is at and based on what platform you think is necessary for you to grow your business. So again, once you've chosen your MVP, choose 2 to 3 platforms, not more than 3, because when you're just starting out with content repurposing, there are going to be so many steps that you need to take. If you choose more than 2 or 3 platforms, you are kind of not going to do it, because you're just going to be like, there's so much work, this is too much work, and I'm not going to do it. So I suggest start with 2 platforms apart from your most valuable platform. And then once you know that you've become consistent on these 2 platforms and you kind of have a process in place, you can then add 2 more platforms as you move ahead. Again, like I said, your platforms will depend on the preferences of your audience as well as your MVP. Now, the way that you could repurpose content, and I have a couple of examples to show you guys, but for example, if I look at my process, right, my ideal process, I'm writing a blog post a week, so that's my MVP. My secondary platforms are my Facebook group and Instagram. This is just an example. So I wrote a blog post on 21 ways to run Facebook ads, or 21 Facebook ads hacks for 2019. So that was my blog post. Now, the way I would repurpose this content is, so I wrote 21 tips, right, in that blog post. I would split that blog post into 21 parts. So each tip would be one part, and so that would help me create 21 posts on Instagram. So my Instagram content for 21 days is done there. And then I could do like a short Facebook Live inside my group saying, the top 5 Facebook ad hacks for 2019. And then I could share the link to my post, which gives them more detailed information. That's one way of repurposing my content. So I created one high quality piece of content and then split it up on multiple platforms, right? Now let's look at it this way. Now that I think that I am consistent on my blog, on Facebook group, and on Instagram, now I want to add 2 more platforms to this. So I would kind of upload that Facebook Live on YouTube. So that's kind of my YouTube thing done. And of course, I'll include SEO and all of those things. But as for video, I'll just add like an introduction and add that to YouTube. And I would share that on Instagram stories. So now from 3 platforms, which is my blog post, Facebook group, and Instagram, I went on to 5 platforms because I included YouTube and Instagram stories because I already know that I've become consistent with the other 3 platforms, right? So this is the way you want to think about repurposing, and you want to think about adding platforms once you've started becoming consistent with 2 to 3 platforms, right? So this is just an example. If you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments below. Let's go to step 3. This is my favorite step in the process because this has changed the game for me, creating workflows. Guys, it's so important I can't even explain how important it is to create workflows, especially when you're heavily focused on content creation. And the reason for that is there are so many small steps that go into creating one piece of content on one platform that if you don't have workflows in place and you're doing this on a weekly basis, very likely you're going to skip some steps, you'll remember something later or just forget something. So everything becomes easy with workflows, and I really mean it. So the way you do it is create a workflow for your most valuable platform. So again, let's take the blog for example. If I have a blog post I have to write every week, I'll show you my blogging workflow. It has around 20 steps, I guess. First step, keyword research, decide the headline, decide the subheadlines, outline the content, write the content, create Pinterest graphics, create sharing graphic, all of those things, right? So there are around 20 steps that I need to take for that one blog post. If I didn't have this workflow, I don't think I would be able to remember all the steps and what makes sense when. The second step is creating a workflow for repurposing. So again, if you're having a blog post and you want to convert that into Instagram and Facebook groups, you kind of need to have that process in place. Now your blog post is done. Now what you want to do is create an event in your Facebook group. That could be one step. You want to create a Google Doc with 21 different posts for Instagram. Then you want to create graphics for Instagram. You want to choose pictures for Instagram. You want to have a call to action for the live in your Facebook group. All of those things, if you have a workflow, it becomes really easy for you to kind of do the things in a particular order so that they become a habit, and you just keep repeating the same thing again and again. And it is so easy for you to become consistent if you really stick to a workflow every week. I'll show you my blogging workflow and also one of the repurposing workflows. And again, I share all of this inside my mini course. I share Trello templates, workflows, and of course, there are videos. So this is my blogging workflow. Again, I think, there are around 20 steps. keyword research, decide headline, decide subheadings, outline, draft, edit, decide content upgrade, create content upgrade, all of those things, right? So this is a workflow. Again, like, so the other thing that workflows help you with is, for example, you can see this workflow and you can see like around the 10th, 11th step is create featured image, create Pinterest graphics. Now, I personally feel I'm not good at graphics. So if tomorrow I want to go ahead and outsource the graphic creating part in this process, sorry about that. So if tomorrow I were to sorry. So tomorrow, if I were to outsource, graphic designing to my VA or to a graphic designer, I could just share this workflow with them and, be like, this is my workflow. This is how I go about writing a blog post. And what I want you to do is, I want you to do that step that says create featured image, and I want you to do that step that says create Pinterest graphics. So having this workflow in Trello will really help me in the future when I'm ready to outsource any of these tasks and, just share this workflow with them and assign some particular task to them, and that's it, right? It becomes really easy, especially when you're looking to scale your business by, getting in team members or outsourcing stuff. This is the repurposing flow, and this is one of the flows that I share in my course. So again, this starts with a blog post. There is a workflow that starts with a video, and there is another workflow that starts with an audio. So here, it just starts here. So you write the blog post, then you turn your blog post into a Facebook Live snippet, and then you upload your Facebook Live to YouTube, upload your video to IGTV, use your blog snippets for Instagram captions, upload your blog post to LinkedIn, upload your blog post snippets to IG stories. So there are like tons of ways you can repurpose your content, and this is just an example. You can customize this for your business however you want, right? But like I said, you want to start at the blog post and then start with 2 repurposing platforms, and once you're consistent with that, you can keep adding, and it can go on and on and on, right? So those are the 2 workflows. The next step is to batch your content. It really helps, so again, since you already know how many times you want to post on your most valuable platform, you already have that thing, right? So I know that I'm going to post 4 blog posts this week. So I already know that. So if I were to batch process my content, what I would do is I would do keyword research for all the 4 posts at once. I would then decide the headline for all the 4 posts at once, and so on. So I have my workflow. Now I'm going to do each of those steps for 4 blog posts at a time. And what that helps with is that since you're not kind of context switching between things, for example, I'm writing right now for my blog post, and I'm kind of doing a video. It's just like switching a lot, which kind of reduces your focus and also takes more time than what would take if you're actually doing those things together. So you can do more in less time if you're really batching your content and doing the same task for 4 different blog posts at once, instead of doing one task for one blog post, then doing the second task for the same blog post, and so on. And also, if I know that I'm writing 4 blog posts at once, and I also know the headlines for those blog posts, I can eventually decide my Instagram content as well based on those headlines, right? So that's where this helps. Yolanda asks, would you share the checklist? Which checklist are you talking about? Is it on the slide? Let me know, because if you want, I can share the slides with you. Let me know. So the last step is delegate, automate, or detonate. So you may or may not have a content system in place. If you do, you should definitely audit your current system. Are you posting on platforms that are really not giving you any return on your time investment? Are you doing steps in your content creation that are not really required? If that is the case, you want to do away with those things because you want to maximize your time in terms of content creation, because content creation is a long-term process. So it's important that you are very strategic about it and doing only those things that are really helping you in your business. So, yes, I will share the slides with you. Awesome. So the second thing is, I gave you an example of Instagram, right? So if I have a blog post that says 21 Facebook ad hacks that I'm converting to Instagram, and I have that content for Instagram for 21 days, I can take 2 hours in my day and schedule that content for 21 days, right? So I don't have to go back to it. Of course, you want to follow up and engage with your audience and reply to comments and all that stuff, but you don't have to actually create the post, right? So that is when you can use scheduling tools. For Instagram, I recommend Planoly because that's the only one I've used and I really like it. The next thing is use automation tools like Zapier. So again, if I'm writing a blog post and I know that my steps are to share this blog post on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of these places, I can just automate this entire process using Zapier, which is like every time I write a blog post on WordPress, that post will be shared on all of these different platforms. So that kind of reduces a lot of time that you spend on just sharing something you've written, right? And the next thing which I spoke about a little in the workflow is delegate whatever eats up your time. Because again, if I know I'm not good at doing graphics, so it takes me it takes me 3 hours to create graphics that someone else could do in half an hour. I would just delegate the work, right? And in terms of graphics, you can also create templates. Like in Canva, you can create templates that you can use again and again without having to design stuff from scratch, right? So I think that is it. Yeah, that is it. Let me come back to my screen. Awesome. So guys, that's kind of the basic content repurposing system or plan or process that you can start implementing. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just sharing the link to my mini course. It's called the content system. You can check out the sales page if you're interested, of course. No forcing. If you're interested, you can check out the sales page as we speak. So if any questions come up, you can ask me right now. I am just sharing the link to the content system. And so this course is, so I'm kind of going to keep adding to this course. So right now, for me, the two platforms I'm working on, apart from my group and blog, are YouTube and Instagram. So everything that I come up with in terms of workflows and stuff, I'm going to keep adding to this course. And again, this offer is only valid for you guys for the next 24 hours. It's not available anywhere else. So if you feel that it'll help you, do join in. YouTube and Instagram stuff coming in next. And also, like, as I keep improving my content, I'll keep sharing as part of this course. I think I will also go ahead and share the slides for people. Sharing the slides. Cool. So I've shared the link to the course. I'm sharing the slides. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'm right here for some time, like at least a couple of minutes, because again, like I haven't been here live for a while and I'm really enjoying being here, guys. So again, I'm going to repurpose this video on YouTube. So if you don't find it in the group and you want to watch it again, you can find it on my YouTube channel. Just go to YouTube and type Shweta Davar. I don't really have 100 subscribers yet, so I still have to change my channel name. But go ahead, subscribe to my channel if you like the content, and ask me any questions that come up. I have shared the slides. Yes, I can see the slides. Yeah, that's it. Let's see. I see some people here, but I don't see any questions. So I'm gonna wait for a couple of seconds or minutes. And oh, of course, I forgot. Guys, if you're here with me, I'm going live tomorrow in Alex's group. Alex, if you don't know Alex, you should definitely join her group. She is awesome. It's called Digital Marketing Hacks for Entrepreneurs, I think. I think it's Digital Marketing Hacks for Entrepreneurs. She is awesome, and we've been planning this for a while, but I'm finally doing a live training inside her group, and we're going to be talking about how to generate leads using chatbots, and it's like a practical hands-on training. So get your free ManyChat account. Just go to manychat.com, get a free account, and you can follow with me in the training so that you have your chatbot set up by the end of the training. And also for tomorrow is the last day I'm selling my bots course at a really low price, because I've got amazing feedback from people who've gone through the course, and I've spoken to my mentor and he's like, you're charging too low. So tomorrow is the last day for you to get the bots course at $97. I'll talk more about it tomorrow. But guys, come for the training if you're interested in chatbots and the course. Join her group. She's awesome, and I'm so excited for the training tomorrow. I don't see any questions, so I think that's it. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. And again, if any questions come up as you go through the training again, or if you get your mind around repurposing, don't hesitate to post them in the group or in the comments, and I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you guys. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Okay, I even forgot how to end the training.